Hello, everybody. I hope you are all doing well, and I hope you can hear me and see me. As you can tell, my face is still really red and hot because it's still really hot here in Europe. So, and that's not going to change until we get to summertime, fall time. Oop. So, and I hope you can hear the music as well. Hope the music is back. I changed the background because it was horrendously bright on my eyes last time. Hello, Memphis. Hello, Vampire Monster. Hello, Vampire Bait. Yay. Looking and sounding great. Oh, thank you. That's so very sweet. I feel like a mess. I just got back from walking my dog downstairs. So, quick recap. And I have tea. I have tea today to maybe save my throat. I have chamomile tea because it's the only tea I have, I think. So just a recap, we are activities going on, including shadow monsters and strange people in the woods. And we also have the sheriff's deputy, Maya, who we sort of flirted with a little bit, and our friend from childhood that we flirted with a little bit too, whose name is Sarah, but we call her Salem as a nickname. So, if everybody's ready, we're going to jump right in. Chapter 2, You Are Not Alone, and I'm hoping we make it through more than one chapter today. Small towns have long memories and pass their horrors down ceremonially from generation to generation. Stephen King, Salem's Lot. You enter your grandfather's home. You enter your grandfather's home for the first time in 5 years, almost tripping over a pair of yellow rubber galoshes by the door. Stepping over them, you flip the light switch on and off several times with no effect. You resort to turning on your phone's flashlight. So much space for a tiny shop, all of it sparse and cold and lifeless without its true owner. You run your hand along an empty shelf, once a display for popular paperbacks. Pulling back, you leave your fingerprints in the dust. You shuffle through the aisles and around the fixtures, finding them all poorly stocked. A loud fluttering startles you, and something swoops at your head. You duck low and fix your hands into a sign of warding. If the creature is of supernatural origin, you'd know it. Sorry about that. Part of you hopes it's real, just so you can study it. As it returns to perch on its wood beam, you see it's no more than a common bat. With your mind at ease, you circle the long counter. As a child, you spent countless days here with your grandpa. A sign hangs above the counter. Tuesdays, 12% off. That's a weird percentage off, not gonna lie. Also, I don't know if I mentioned, we're a paranormal scholar, which is just like my favorite background of anything ever. Zaina, I already warned you before the stream started. If you're just here to be strange or do whatever, then you're going to get blocked. That's just the way it is. You shake your head with a smile and pass under it. A rack by the back room holds an old coat, a leather bomber with an insignia of the 173rd Airborne Brigade Combat Team. Wings carrying a sword. It smells like mothballs and pine. Campbell Services bears the weight of the past, memories in every square inch. You check behind an oil painting of astrological signs. Below it sits a note. To Grandpa, love Huddy. Aww. Aww. I guess he never throws anything away, you say aloud. Pulling aside the painting, you find the fuse box and flip the breakers. Overhead lights pop on in a dim glow. Again, you hear the flapping of wings heading high and away, and you spot the furry form flying out of a broken window near the rafters. With the lights on, you see unopened mail on a small bench behind the counter. First Bank of Jericho Heights, overdue. ComEd Electric, payment due. Nicor Gas, third notice. Kishwaukee Water Reclamation, overdue. Jonathan Banks, Esquire. All addressed to your grandfather. Jason Stephen Hill, I believe, is an editor for Choice of Games. So welcome to the chat. Hi. So great to see you. Thank you, Vampire Bait, for handling that. I've already muted them once, so if they jump into the chat with anything else not pertaining to the stream, then feel free to block them. And Lila, or Leela, as I called you yesterday. No, you're not late. I just started. We are just going through our grandfather's effects and learning that he was very much overdue with all of his bills. Ooh, what was our grandfather's first name? Well, his last name's Campbell. I would like to give it like a better sounding name. Like Aviv is a great name. Lucas is a nice name. Lucas is a nice name. I like that name. It's a very popular name for kids being born in Germany, like young kids. I hear it a lot of kids in my neighborhood, and I hear them outside when they're playing soccer and stuff and going, Lucas, Lucas. So I think it's a pretty popular name here. So I'm going to go with that one. It is a nice name, right? I do like Aviv. It just doesn't really go with Campbell. With Campbell. Aviv Campbell sounds a little not like, it doesn't really go together, but I think when I play through it again, which I always play through these games multiple times because I love them so much. I played through Night Road so many times. That's why I couldn't remember like what my first run through was. I always try different names, I do make different choices because this is my favorite types of games. The novel games, the visual novel games. I could play them forever. You pick up the last one, you recognize that name. Your grandfather's estate attorney contacted you days after his death. As his primary heir, he left you the property, including the store and the house, along with the rest of his life insurance payout after taxes and funeral expenses. $4,000, because he knew Campbell was working for vampires. He wasn't going to have that. I'm not retiring anytime soon. The jingle of door chimes lifts your head, and in walks a tall figure with grayish-black hair. Sorry, the store isn't open. The figure steps into the entryway and gives the store a once-over before turning to you. I'm not here to buy anything, friend. I came to introduce myself. I'm Marvin Bumpley, mayor of Jericho Heights. You study him for a moment. Wait, don't you own the bank? He folds his arms over his chest, which he puffs out. I do as well. I'm a busy man, and the devil finds work for idle hands. He offers a fist bump, his hands in white leather gloves. You lean on the counter. A draft blows through the store with a low whistling. Why are we calling him... Oh, Lord. I'll say, so what brings you by the store tonight? This visit must have a purpose, and I want to know why he's here. It does. Aviv, I think, is, we have the famous Google here. We can actually Google what Aviv There's actually a hotel in my city named Aviv. It's of Hebrew origin, and it means springtime, for anyone interested. Got matter of fact and inquisitive. Mayor Bumpley runs a hand along his hairless chin. Aside from the curly mustache, his skin appears smooth and new, ageless. I just happened to be in the neighborhood and saw a light on inside. I heard you were coming back to town and wanted to offer my deepest sympathies on your grandfather's passing. Lucas was a wonderful man. This town won't be the same without him. Thank you. He paces in front of the counter, glancing around the store with a pensiveness, like a courtroom attorney before the defendant, preparing to cross-examine. Plan on being in the Heights for long? Speaking on behalf of our townspeople, we would love for you to stay for a while. Campbell has always been in Jericho Heights since 1955. I'm not going to say that Jericho Heights is a place I've missed, because probably what I would have missed about it would be my grandfather. I'm going to say it's hard to say. I just got here. Like, I literally just got here. Ooh, cynical. Yikes. Or we could have just waited for Jason to answer in the chat. Yeah, Tel Aviv, exactly. Isn't he also our love rival? I have no idea. No idea. I think he's a vampire. The mayor retreats a few steps. Of course, not fair of me to ask so soon, but we need young blood like you in Jericho Heights. Most young folks with prospects leave for college and never return. So to see someone with a reason to stay, especially someone who could reopen one of my favorite stores, well, pardon me for getting excited. Thanks, Mr. Mayor. He pans the room, his lips pursing. I expect you'll be repairing the store and taking care of the maintenance. I'd hate for this to remain such an eyesore in our beautiful town. He smooths out his sweater and backs away from you. It's getting late and you're tired from your trip. I'll go now. He turns on his penny loafers but stops, snaps his finger and turns back. Almost forgot. I'll be hosting a dinner party at my home tomorrow evening and I want to extend an invitation. Please consider it. He draws a card from the pocket of his khakis and places it on the counter. Thank you for inviting me. He gives you a courteous wave and exits your shop. Alone in the shop again, you reach for your laptop, but a yawn interrupts you. It's been a long day and you can't fight the fatigue. The shop will be here in the morning and you can tackle your grandpa's business tomorrow. You leave your luggage near the counter, lock the front door, and zombie walk through the back of the store and into the attached home. You only make it to the living room couch before you pass out. Experience points +4. I would be like, hey, so this weird thing happened on my drive there. The sheriff's deputy got attacked by a shadow monster. Do you know anything about that? Yeah, he said blood, definitely a vampire. Yeah, I think he's a vampire. I have that feeling immediately from when he walked in. Or a ghoul, yeah. Maybe. Sound asleep. Yeah, exactly, right? Sound asleep after the shadow beast attacked us twice. I mean, there was shadow talk in the first encounter with the girl who I think must be a thin blood. You walk through the old woods behind your home, right past the abandoned train tracks. Your vision, blurry and narrow, fades in and out like you're being dunked underwater and yanked out again, over and over. You're sweating and your heart races. You try to look over your shoulder, but you can't see anyone from behind. Up ahead, a path opens between a thicket of bushes. The ground slopes upwards, and at the top stands a figure, watching and waiting. My God. Your heart rate slows, and a warmth engulfs your body like you're wrapped in your favorite wool blanket. As soon as you focus on the man, his form wavers and dissipates into smoke. Just as he fades, a hand reaches out of the cloud and beckons you forward, and you burst into a run. It rises, blotting out the sun. Everything goes white. We're doing really well, mentally. We're doing really good. As you progress through the story, you will receive experience points that may be used to raise your attributes, skills, and other traits. You may use your experience or save them for later. After choosing one or more stats to raise, you will confirm your choices before continuing with the story. Remaining experience points 7. Ooh. I think I'll save it for later advancement, because I don't know, what's going on yet. Oh, but we can see what we have. We have 3 manipulation. Go us. Nice. We have some insight, some persuasion. 4 in occult, 4 in science, and 3 in investigation. We're not too shabby. We are not too shabby. 1 in faith. I think probably I'd want to get some in clandestine. Yeah. And maybe dexterity or stamina. You've not spent any of your current experience points. Do you wish to save them and continue with the story? I'm going to save them. Just going to save them for now. Because we've got a pretty good background so far. In my opinion. This could be the best. This better be the best romance I've ever done. I love this. Skills would be best though. Probably. I'm just going to wait and see what happens. Oh, Sombra. We'll see what happens. We haven't really gotten to the meat of any story yet. You wake up to gentle licks on your face. His name's Hex. Hex's orange and white face stares down at you, her whiskers tickling your nose. She meows and stares at you again with green eyes. Hex was the name Grandpa gave her. Yeah, and that's the name that we're keeping for her. She purrs and stretches out her body with her front paws way out front. You, reach up and pet her. Thanks for waking me up, old lady. I wouldn't call her that, but all right. Kind-hearted, relationship with Hex +9. Nice. You stroke her back and she sinks into your body and purrs. You're not ornery at all. Your mind replays the odd relationship between Hex and your grandfather. He'd set out a can of tuna for her on his workbench and then chase her off if she stayed too long. He'd sit and pet her for a while binge-watching old episodes of Law and Order and shove her off if she took up too much of the couch. I mean, I really want to like our grandfather. I think he seems really cool, but he seems kind of ornery himself. Damn ornery old cat, he'd yell as she bolted through the cat door he made her. She leaps to the floor and stretches her back by rolling around on the old rug by the television. Oh, I see green. Oh, thank you, Useless Familiar, for the super chat. That is my very first super chat. I'm completely honored. Thank you so much. Thank you. I don't know what to say. Gentle. Yeah, I know. That would have been really weird, Rachel. But also hilarious. I know. How could you treat our kitty like that? I think she's great. Really, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm completely floored. Thank you so much. God, I'm totally overwhelmed by the generosity. Hex leaps to the floor and stretches her back by rolling around on the old rug by the television. As you sit up, the room spins for a few seconds. You close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Light pressure comes from the base of your skull, but it fades. Images flash in your mind, bits of memory. The doorbell rang and you answered, an unwelcome guest at the threshold of your grandfather's home, and then it's all a blur. Even those images fade from your view as you try and focus on them. It must have been a dream. Okay. What? Are we trying to remember the mayor coming and we can't? Or somebody else who came? Somebody's messed with our memory. Interesting. And now that you're awake, you spend some time looking around your new home and reacquainting yourself with the nooks and crannies. Okay, Grandpa, let's see what you have hidden around here. Always a bit paranoid, your grandfather had hiding places where he stored his most prized possessions, whether they were worth something or not. You walk around the rooms on the first floor, living room, kitchen, and office. While you search, memories of your grandfather superimpose themselves over the rooms as though he were a spirit, showing you where to find supplies to maintain the shop, products to restock the shelves, and even family heirlooms. You take mental note of everything. It's like he's there. So we have a best friend / lover named Salem and a cat called Hex. I'm sensing a theme. Yeah, I know. I actually ordered... It's too bad I only thought about it today. I actually ordered a cup that I really like. It's like a little cauldron and it says witch's brew on it, and it would have been perfect for this stream, but I just ordered it today. Apparently someone mind wiped us. Yeah, who knows? Who knows what creatures are in this besides just vampires? After the tour, you end at the office. 3 tall filing cabinets occupy one whole wall. Opening one at random, you pull out a brown file folder along with a cloud of dust. Line after line of transactions take up each page, with many bearing names you recognize, with amounts down to the penny. You slip the file back in its vertical coffin and smack the dust off of your hands. You sit down in the leather swivel chair in the office, a seat you were never allowed to take before. Looking over at his image by the door, he shakes his head at you and waves goodbye. You press the power button on Grandpa's iMac, a blue trapezoid that looks like the head of a robot. I remember those! Oh my god, I remember those. I had an orange one. A full minute later, it starts up to a desktop as cluttered as the rest of the property. Emails saved as text files coat the screen, and though it would take too long to review now, a quick scan shows most are unfiled orders from weeks ago. After a few seconds of perusing, the screen blinks and a window pops up. Your grandfather appears, wearing his favorite fishing hat, and he's fumbling off screen as he comes into focus. Is this stupid thing on? All right, whatever. Huddy, I hope this is you watching. Anyway, if you're seeing this, I'm likely a ghost already. Don't worry, I'm not going to haunt my own house. Maybe that stupid blowhard Marvin Bumpley's. Listen, I don't want to get all long-winded. Hell, I hate that your last image of me will be inside this box. Since we haven't talked in a while, I figured this was my last chance to set things right. This is weird. He pauses and looks off camera, his face drawn, eyes drooping. When he looks back at the camera, he wipes his eyes with his hands. Campbell Services. It's old and run down, but it has a spirit that keeps it going. In the right hands, it will flourish. Not these old hands, but yours. It's all yours now. Do me one favor. Stay a while. Give it 6 months. If you don't like it, sell it. Hell, burn it down for all I care. Just see if Jericho Heights is the place for you. Besides, there are reasons for you to be here. People you need to help. Maybe things will come to light and you'll know what I mean. Mostly, I believe you will be happy here. Maybe without me nagging you to death, you'll enjoy it as much as I have. I love you, kiddo. I'm sorry it took this long to say it. The video ends and you turn off the iMac. You lean back in the chair and spin in a circle, listening to it squeak. Having seen your grandpa's message, you feel... I don't know. Puzzled. What's with the cryptic message? Am I here to solve a mystery or take care of his affairs? Because that's how I feel in this moment. Grandpa's a wraith? I hope so. I hope he's a wraith, because we've already gotten, like, ghostly presences from him already. Curious mage. Grandpa just had his boundaries. When the cat quota was up, that was that. Maybe. Perhaps. Oh, you're in the same place? Well, you should let us know what different choices you make. If anything changes. Sorry, I'm just trying to readjust my thingy. All right, I'm going to pick puzzled. Ooh, achievement, hidden room. You found the hidden room in your grandfather's house. Cool. He mentioned something about a reason to be here, and things will come to light. Those messages were slipped in, but you caught them. They flew right by like bats out of a window. Even if you stay in Jericho Heights, how will you run a store by yourself? Grandpa rarely hired help, which was one reason the business was so stagnant. When Yelp reviews included phrases like, my order shipped late and no customer service, maybe you need to shell out $10 an hour for an extra pair of hands. Your grandfather didn't fix issues. He made excuses for them. You have no clue how he stayed in business as long as he did. Then there's the issue of money. How much will it take to get the store back to where it needs to be, full of both merchandise and customers? More to the point, if you're going to stay, you'll need a regular income to survive. Besides the store itself, there's a spare bedroom you could rent out. But do you really want to be a landlord on top of a store owner? From those bills you found, he certainly dug a hole for this place. And now he expects you to try and dig your way out? 6 months is a long time, and quite possibly with nothing to show for it when you're done. Quite possibly. I don't know what Grandpa was obviously sensitive to supernatural things, so a hedge mage, or a hedge wizard, whichever terminology. So what I talked about at the end of the last stream. The people in the world of darkness, which is consistent with all books, with all lores. There are just regular, everyday people who are just more sensitive to supernatural things. As you spin around and around in the leather chair, Hex creeps into the room and skulks along the perimeter. She moves to a corner and scratches at the wall. You stand to investigate. It looks like every other wall, the same dull yellow wallpaper, faded and peeling in place. You knock along the surface, feel solid with each tap of your knuckles until you hit a slender area right above Hex in a foot-wide column to the ceiling. Well, what do you know, you say, and slide your fingers along the baseboard. After some searching, you find a seam. Your fingertips move along the nearly invisible ridge and find a depression midway up the wall. Pressing it, the section pops in, and you slide it back along the wall like a pocket door. Inside is a hidden area, a rectangle room you never knew existed. Grandpa, you sneaky devil, you. Stepping into the room, you stare wide-eyed at the contents, a huge assortment of occult paraphernalia. Carved fetishes sit on the top shelf of a bookcase. Below them, tomes on spiritualism, numerology, tarot card reading, and the like. A smaller shelf holds jars and cups and bags of powders, rocks and dusts of various colors and textures. A crystal ball with a base resembling a copper dragon perches on a pedestal. In the center of the room rests a clear pool of water held in a basin your grandfather likely used for scrying, observing people or places from afar. You look over the books and one piques your interest. It's a book on the practice of curses. As you flip through the pages, you notice several of them are loose and handwritten. Your grandfather's writings? You read over them and they only reinforce what you know. Those who place curses do so at a risk of physical and mental strain. It's possible to lose one's humanity from placing curses too often, as you deal in the focusing of negative energies. The writing ends and you close the book and place it back in the pile. This room holds all you would need for your occult practices. You also find a separate area where you marvel at a large assortment of beakers and burners, jars of chemicals, scales, funnels, microscopes, test tubes, everything you'd expect in a science lab. Running your hand along the bottles of reagents, you read the labels: sulfuric acid, botulinum toxin, arsenic, and nightshade. Metals such as platinum, rhodium, and gold sit on a shelf over a workbench. Was he a mage or was he an alchemist? Notebooks line a filing cabinet, documenting his experiments and the recipes for these powerful substances. Your grandfather collected all manners of poisons, tranquilizers, and paralytics, and the means to produce rare concoctions to harm or heal. Now it's all yours, gifted to you by the secretive chemist who shares your last name. When you turn to leave, you notice a standing cabinet nearly flush with the wall. Its surface blends with the wood paneling, so it's easy to miss. Opening the cabinet, you find weapons: a shotgun, a high-powered bolt-action rifle with a scope, a semi-automatic rifle, several handguns, and a weighted hatchet. Besides being a chemist, your grandfather collected an assortment of deadly gear. Dang, Grandpa! Yeah. This kind of sounds like your room, Vampire Bait. That's great. That's great. Yeah, okay, so it's confirmed Vampire Bait is Grandpa. Vampire Bait, I'm sorry that you're a wraith now, I guess. Yeah, Grandpa was obviously Batman. That's the real tea. That's the real answer. Was Grandpa secretly Batman? So he must have had no. He must have had a good reason for collecting all of these things. I wish I could ask him why. For now, you leave the room and shut the door. You'll dive into this another day. Even if you remain in Jericho Heights and reopen Campbell Services, there's so much to do it feels overwhelming. First, there's restocking shelves, checking inventory, and reordering supplies. Grandpa's computer had weeks of unfilled orders, at least half a dozen. Leaks, a broken window, and wobbly shelves needed repairs. And you'll need to tell all the townspeople about the reopening. How can you do it all? That's a great question. How can I do it all? I'm pretty good in science and technology, and I think I'm not stupid. I'm not that dumb. So let's market the store. We need to repair the property as well, but let's market the store first and then, get the word out. You know what I'm saying? Don't know what my role was, but hopefully pretty good. Ask the cat. Yeah, I should. As far as the town knows, Campbell Services closed for good once your grandfather passed on, not like the store gets good foot traffic. You've always had a way with words, so the first step in marketing is crafting some well-worded posts on social media. Your grandfather never set up accounts for the store, but you quickly rectify that, setting up a Facebook page, Twitter account, and an Instagram account. You take and a TikTok. We also do a TikTok. You take photos of the interior and exterior and post them all on all three along with announcements. And a TikTok. It's very popular right now. Grand reopening of Campbell Services, Sunday, July 21st. Come in and check out all we have to offer. Still family owned and operated. Opening day giveaways while supplies last. Now that you've started an online presence, you search for Jericho Heights on all three platforms. You post a short video of yourself on TikTok, announcing the store on the Heights Talk Facebook group, asking for a retweet from the Jericho Heights official Twitter account, and post to hashtag Jericho Heights on Instagram. Finally, you stretch a sign from your shop's wall to the telephone pole on the corner. Anyone passing by will surely see it. After thinking about all the marketing efforts you could make for the store, you remember your friend Sherry from back in Chicago. You haven't talked to her in a while, but saw something a few days ago on one of those annoying update emails from LinkedIn about Sherry's new job. You bring up your phone and search through the newsfeed. Congratulate Sherry Tompkins on her new job as digital marketing specialist. Wondering if she can help to raise the profile of your store, you send her a quick text message. She answers immediately. Hey there, I'd be happy to help. The quickest way to get traffic to your website would be to optimize your homepage. If you want, set me up with an account so I can make some changes. Once the search engine detects those changes, you should see increased traffic in no time. You're not too surprised she's helping you. During your senior year in college, she almost flunked out of philosophy class you shared. You tutored her to a passing grade, but even though she owes you, you have the feeling she would have helped you anyway. Ooh, another experience points. We're on fire. Crazy hermit memes. We will be viral in no time if we're on TikTok. But more importantly, we set up a Hex account for all of them for the cat. Yes. And the Hex account on Instagram becomes much more popular than any of our other accounts. And then Hex gets her own TikTok. And it's cat talk. And it's great. And everyone thinks we're great. And we all live happily ever after. The end. Call Salem's house phone? Well, I could call her, but I probably want to repair the property. But maybe I'm going to call Salem. Maybe I'm going to do that. Repairing the shop sounds tedious and expensive. In the living room sits an antique rotary phone your grandfather bought at a flea market in '03. Mrs. Pfefferkorn, my goodness, wanted $9.50, but Grandpa got her down to $6 after showing her the wires were frayed at the plug. He took it home and wrapped it in 25 cents worth of electrical tape. You pick up the receiver and hear a dial tone. Why wouldn't we use our cell phone? Your grandfather always kept a list in his end table drawer of contacts around Jericho Heights. You quickly find the number for the Morelli residence. Dialing the phone, you barely hear one ring before someone answers. Hello? Hello, Mrs. Morelli, this is Huddy. Is Sarah there? Oh, Huddy, how are you, dear? You know we're all so sorry about your grandfather. Let us know if there's anything you need while you're in the Heights. Thank you, Mrs. Morelli. Grandpa was always fond of you and your family. I'm still processing everything, but I appreciate your offer. You're very welcome. Just remember, people in the Heights take care of one another. You may have left us for a time, but still. Salem's voice shouts in the background. Mom, give me the phone. Oh my God, can I have a friend call without getting interrogated? You hear the phone shuffle. Honestly, Sarah, I'll treat you as an adult if you... Mrs. Morelli's voice trails off. Hey, I'm going to the basement with the phone, Salem says to you, and you hear her breathing race and heavy footsteps. Sorry about my mom. It's a constant struggle. I wish I could move out. Move in here. There's tons of room. Just don't fall in love with me. That's the one. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Vampire Bait is baiting us to violate the Masquerade, but I'm the one who's being like, TikTok. I'm sorry. Victor Temple, B-Dave confirmed that Victor Temple has a TikTok, so it's totally fine. Salem chuckles through the receiver. I'll really try, but can't guarantee I won't. Actually, if you're serious, I would consider taking you up on the offer. I'm serious. I'm sure we could work it out to be mutually beneficial, like you could help out in the store or do graphics work for advertising. I'm liking the sound of this. Let's talk about it more next time we're hanging out, Salem says. So what's going on with you? I'm surprised you called me so soon. You must really miss me. I just didn't want to do the contracting stuff. Ooh, there's so many good choices here. Say, I do miss you. I wish I'd kept in touch with you all these years. That was my fault. I was hoping you can come over and help me set up the store. I'm going to say I was just curious if you still talk to Adam. I'm not sure if I should reach out to him. Salem stammers over a long beat of time and then clears her voice. I still talk to him. We don't talk as much as we used to, but then again, you and I haven't kept in touch. We don't exactly live too close to one another. Yeah, but with Facebook and Insta and email, yada, 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 we can keep in touch. Discord. But forget all that. You should go see Adam. Is he still working for UPS? I know he was going to school for accounting, but never knew if he finished or not. Salem growls over the phone. Stop asking me about Adam and go see him. Oh no, what have I done? Okay, I will. She hops a heavy sigh into the phone. Better get going. I have a bunch of errands to run and a dinner party tonight. Keep in touch, stranger. I'm only across the street. A dinner party? Wait, are you going to Mayor Bumpley's? Yeah, my mother won tickets at last year's Summerfest. Can you believe the mayor auctions off spots at his dinner parties? How'd you know we were going? I'm invited too. I'll see you there. Awesome. I'll be the chick brooding by the balcony. Catch you later. You hang up the phone. Experience points +1. Ooh! I made her mad! Oops. Great. So how bad are we now? Bad. We made our friend / possible love interest mad by asking about our other friend that we grew up with. Something happened between them and she's not happy that we brought it up. Jealousy, is she jealous we're thinking of Adam and not her? Doesn't she know she's our one and only except for Maya? I know, I haven't even told anyone about Maya. I haven't talked about the shadow monster to anyone, not even myself. Terrible. Okay, let's prepare the property for God's sake. Once again, you return to the rotary phone and the list of contacts your grandfather kept. Scanning the handwritten page, you spot a line for Virginia Barlow, contractor. You have a vague memory of Mrs. Barlow from the summers spent here. Your grandpa would hire her at least once a month, though it would end with them feuding and her leaving in anger, always shouting the same line. Lucas Campbell, you're just a warthog's ass! Whenever she saw you, she'd mess up your hair by petting your head and then give you a lollipop. You never knew where she bought them, but they were the best. You dial and hope it's the right number after all these years. Barlow General Contractors! It's a high-pitched, hard-edged voice, as if Mickey Mouse ran a prison. Okay, I can't do that voice. Hello, I'm looking to get an estimate on some work to my... Whoa, slow down there, Speed Racer. Do I get a name? I'm no psychic. Sorry, this is Huddy Campbell, like I was saying. Wait, you're Lucas's grandkid, right? Yes, Mrs. Barlow. Grandpa left me the house and the store after he passed, so I'm trying to get things in order while I'm here. There's a long pause. Sorry to hear about your grandpa, she says, her voice lower. I'll come right by and have a look. You got a list made up? Not yet, but I will work on one right now. Thank you, Mrs. Barlow. Good. Have it ready. I'll be there in a jiffy. She seems fun. Chat with the cat? Maybe. I miss Maya. No, Maya's the only one we've flirted with besides Salem. Oh, we have a picture. Someone in a wheelchair. Oh, the coughing starts already. And I'm drinking tea. This is not fair. This is not fair. 8 minutes later, Jenny Barlow doesn't bother knocking on the front door, but marches into the living room where you're sitting. I guess the front door is the first thing on the list to fix. She lowers a toolbox to the floor. She wears overalls with a Hawaiian shirt, one with blue flamingos you swear you've seen before. This door's been busted for years. Anytime I tried to fix it, Lucas would tell me to leave it. Locks are for doors meant to keep people out, you say in your best imitation of your grandfather. She laughs and shakes her head slowly. That's him, all right. So, Mrs. Barlow, I have quite a list, but I'm not sure how much I can afford right now. Maybe we can work out a payment plan? First off, call me Ginny. You're no kid no more. Now, I had an arrangement with your Gramps, and he had credit with me, she says with a wave of her hand. I'll fix as much as I can and give you a fair quote on the rest. Give me that list and we'll get started. Your Gramps always help me to save time and expense, so let's get to it. Do what I tell you and this will go just fine. I'm dying over here. Oh, good Lord. Give me just a minute to go and make my tea hot again and see if that helps my throat. Because I am going longer than an hour and a half. I don't care. I don't care. I want to play the story. And this is not fair. So I'm just going to go on my little screen, my little be right back screen, and I'll be right back. Thank God for Europe and electric water kettles. I'm not sure what they're called. I know what they're called in German. They're called Wasserkocher, but water cookers. But thank God for those, because like it takes me like no time at all to heat up another thing of tea. And I'm just letting it sit for a minute before I start trying to drink it. It's so bad. It's so bad. I can never be like a radio host that has to talk for hours. Or a podcaster. Hex is Strauss, that's correct. Just kettles? Is it just kettle? Okay. We have them in the States, but I never owned one. Alright, so the Ginny is here to help fix our grandfather's store. It's now our store. So, and we're going to help her. That's where we left off. Good Lord. You work side by side with Ginny for 2 hours, dealing with her scrutiny and micromanagement as best as you can. It ends when she tells you to bug off for holding a screwdriver the wrong way. You take some time to mow the tall grass in the yard, but after that you move on to other tasks. Okay. The old door chime rings again, and you jet into the store, anxious to see who's coming in. Does the lack of people in the store and lights off mean anything to you people? The door swings halfway inward and hangs there as 2 small wheels roll over the threshold. Footrests pop, and then a man in a wheelchair enters. He has wavy dark brown hair combed to the side, a wholesome round face, and well-muscled arms in a button-down shirt. Your level of sarcasm rivals even that of Queen Salem. It hits you. That's Adam. Adam Bain. It's also not Adam, or a different version of him. When you last saw him, he was standing, running, wrestling, jumping. Now he's in a wheelchair. A million questions spring to life in your head, but for now you simply stare. Adam's expression turns sheepish. Say something. If you scraped up that door with your wheelchair, I'm charging you. The door is definitely busted, Adam says. He smiles, and the 2 of you join together laughing. That's how it always was with you and Adam. He took the serious role in the comedy routine. Sometimes you'd spend hours making up ludicrous stories, and Adam would pretend to believe them or play off them. His parents would groan when you visited because they knew your 2-person act would go on and on. I was going to call. I just got here last night. I know. Salem emailed me. He pushes his chair forward, letting the door swing past, and then opens his arms by his side. Get over here and give me a hug already. Just dive on in. You lean over and wrap your arms around his sides and the back of his wheelchair. It's an awkward embrace, but it still feels right. His strong arms hold you, and you feel a sense of relief, of comfort. If you've ever wanted to feel safe, it's in his arms. Wow. We did not at all get that type of description with Salem. That's hot. Just saying. Yeah, it is. Okay, so if anyone doesn't know, Vampire Bait is the family memer when it comes to LA by Night. A lot of the GIFs and memes that you've seen about LA by Night, it's pretty likely Vampire Bait made them. Just so everyone knows. Ask him if he has any Grey Poupon. Well, the book What's This with Adams, and I'm not against it either, to be honest. That's a really great description. You know, I love reading because words hold, a lot of meaning and invoke a lot of emotions in people, and of course myself as well. And yeah, it's very interesting. When you part, you stroll to the counter to sit next to him. Thanks. I hate when people stand and talk to me, he says, and locks his wheelchair into place. No, I don't want to speak at your belly button. I'm sorry people do that. He looks away. The silence builds between the 2 of you, allowing you to move on to other things. What's been going on with you? Not much. Working at my father's business, getting my master's online, shooting myself accidentally. You know, normal stuff. Oh. I'm trying to think of how I would react if I saw someone that I was like really close with in my youth who was athletic and then I saw them in a wheelchair and learned that they shot themselves accidentally and that's how they got in the wheelchair. I'm trying to think of how I would react. I am a pretty sarcastic person. I like to joke around and, you know, I like to poke at my friends and, you know, poke and flirt in equal measure. I don't think I would in this situation. I would probably drop the act a little bit and just say, wow, that's so crazy. Can I ask about the accident? Are you okay to talk about it? That's probably what I would do. Yeah, you know, normal stuff like shooting yourself. Yeah, I don't really like any of the options either. Adam nods. Sure, we're friends, and I'm fine talking about it. It took lots of therapy and the support of my family, but I'm in a good place now. That's awesome. I have too much to do in my life to wallow in sadness, he says. We were at this late-night camp-out, me and a bunch of friends. Salem was there, as a matter of fact. We were all passing around a jug of moonshine, always smart. And I hit it a bit too hard. I walked out into the woods to pee, and I don't know, I thought I heard something out there. I happened to be carrying a gun at the time, this showpiece my uncle gave me. The uncle who owns that range in Long Grove? Yep, Uncle Harry. So I heard this noise, you know, that feeling when the hair on your arm, was it a shadow monster? When the hair on your arm stands up, it felt like real fear, even through the buzz. I could barely swallow, and my body was telling me to run. I pulled out my pistol, slipped on wet grass, and the gun went off. I didn't know I was hit because I didn't feel anything. My legs wouldn't move, but I blamed it on the booze. I called for help and passed out. When I woke up, I was at the hospital. Shit, I can still hear the way my mother was crying. He sniffles and wipes his eyes. Anyways, a few surgeries and several months of rehab, and here I am. Stronger, sleeker, aerodynamic. Look, if you have questions or things to say, I'm an open book. Woohoo! My God. Oh, hi, Nerdbert. Servus. The game is really good. The game is really fun. I'm really enjoying it. It's interesting playing it from a perspective of a mortal. And you, as the player, obviously knows there are things going on and you're trying to figure it out. But because you're playing a mortal, the mortal's not really, is trying to piece it together. Okay, so I just heard my friend, my friend from childhood in my youth. I heard him share his whole story about how he accidentally got hit or accidentally shot himself, and now he's in a wheelchair for life. The first thing I would say to him would not be, are you seeing anyone? Are you dating? That would not be the first thing I'd say to him at all. Because if I said it, it would be like, so are you seeing anyone? Or so that's not what I would say. I would probably ask him about the work that he's doing for his dad. I also want to ask him about Salem and why she reacted the way she reacted. So I'm going to ask him if he's working with his dad. Yeah, I know the dating option. Yeah, Nerdbird, I think it's really great. I haven't gotten that far into it, but I'm already hooked. I love it. Romance all of your friends. Have them beat you up later. Yeah. Adam looks back at you with a subtle frown. Yeah, it's great. Can't you tell? It's that bad, huh? What's wrong with it? It's not terrible. I'm doing well, great salary, and accounting comes easy to me. But I feel I'm missing out on something, some amazing adventure out there somewhere. I could be the hero of a story if I could just find it. Yes, Adam shouts. Exactly. This town is small, but something's going on. I can feel it. Beneath the surface, power is gained and exercised, used and abused. I don't understand the game or the rules, but if I weren't tied to my desk all day, I'd find the truth. You nod, intent on listening to him, but you get a sense that it's time to move on to another topic. Let's say, how is Salem doing? Do you two hang out? Me and Salem? We talk. We don't have a ton of time to hang out, he says. She works nights at the library. Really? What library is open at night? Well, I work during the day. On the weekends, she hangs out at Morning Pulse, a newish coffee shop. They do poetry readings, and all the creatives of the Heights hang out there. All the creatives, so all 6 people in town? Ha! There are a few more than 6. Salem displays her oil paintings, and from time to time she'll sell one. Her stuff's amazing. Adam raises his eyebrows. You still have a thing for her? One lonely night back in the summer between 8th and ninth grade while playing Rock Band in Adam's basement, you admitted to thinking Salem was cute. You shrug. I'm not sure what you want me to say, you say, shaking off the question. By the way, how is she doing since, Adam looks up pensively. He always considers his words carefully when talking about sensitive matters. You always thought he'd make a good doctor since he has what could only be described as excellent bedside manner. He could tell someone they have cancer and make them feel really good about it. She's doing really well. I almost feel wrong to say it, but that fire was the best thing that ever happened to that family. Joe Morelli was an evil man. I hated what he did to her and to her mother, but at least he got what he deserved. Ever since the fire, Salem's been great. She stopped doing that thing with her hair, and I don't know, she just seems relaxed overall and able to be herself. It's like she finally gets to have a childhood. What fire? There was a fire and Salem's dad died in the fire? Okay. I'm glad to hear it. Next, you say. Okay, so now that he's brought up, if I still have a thing for Salem, now I feel like I can ask him if he's seeing anyone himself. Now I feel like I can do it without being a creep. Oh, God. Yeah, it's weird Salem lore, right? Sorry, I'm having trouble. My chat is not loading correctly. Having trouble keeping up with it. Yes. Are you seeing anyone? Are you dating anyone? Adam shakes his head. Nah, no one. I've dated some women in the past, but nothing serious. Tried dating apps, but this town's small. Even if I go to Aurora or Elgin, it's just hookups. It's seriously hard to find substance. Ooh. I could go right in for the flirting. How is my composure? 1, persuasion. 2, that's not great. That's not great, but you know what? We're going to try it. Keep at it. If you had a wide enough search radius, people will move in, move out, break up, come for a visit. Things change. You never know when someone will show up and surprise you. I say, taking a subtle approach. Let's do it. Flirt with him. Oh, I lost a point of willpower. Adam lets out a slow sigh. I guess so. I'm getting impatient. I'm always the aggressor, always asking people out. Why can't someone sweep me off my feet? He pauses and smirks, metaphorically. You laugh and lean into him, your hand touching his shoulder. You are so funny. He looks up at you suspiciously. Are you flirting with me? You yank your hand away. Oh, I don't know. What if I am? I've had that exact conversation. I've had that exact interaction more than once, and I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed. Yeah, I'm guessing her dad was evil, referred to as evil. I'm guessing he did terrible things. Okay. Thank you, Gaijin. See you later. I like Adam. I do. Wow. You've got me a bit speechless. You just got back into town. Let's hang out and see where things go. Sounds great, you say. You quickly change subject. Okay, that is not how every conversation went. But the first part, are you flirting with me? I don't know what if I am. I've had that exchange way too many times in my life. Okay. Since he brought it up as well, let's ask him how things are going here in the Heights. Ooh, no, let's ask him to go with us to the dinner party, since Salem's already going. Bumpley's having a party? Mayor or not, he tries way too hard, Adam says, shaking his head. What do you mean? He has to be everyone's friend, and yet always needs to be the center of attention. His booth is the biggest at the summer festival. His house wins the Christmas decoration contest every year. He's what Salem calls extra. Yeah, I would say so. He wears penny loafers, for God's sake. Penny loafers and cable knit sweaters. So you don't want to go? He laughs. Hell yeah, I want to go. His dinner party will be outrageous. The food, the drinks, the people. Good thing I'm on wheels, because you're rolling me out of there. I'll be late, though. I have a project I need to finish this evening. Next, you say... I think we've talked to him enough. We can get back to dealing with things. Talk to you later? Since he says he's busy, he's got something to do. It's promising. We can work with us. We can work with it. We can work with a... He wants someone to come and sweep him off his feet. I'm here, baby. Let me sweep you off your feet. Metaphorically or otherwise. Yeah, I should head out too. My dad's expecting me back at work soon. I'm at the bank, he says, and makes air quotes with his fingers. Let me text you my phone number. The two of you spend a minute exchanging contact info, and then you walk ahead and hold the door open for him. Good to see you too. I'll meet you at Mayor Bumpley's at 7. Adam smiles and rolls outside, and you let the door swing closed behind him. Ooh. We should probably check the store's inventory and see what we need. Probably. If you plan to open Campbell Services, you need enough products to sell. Empty shelves will give customers a poor first impression. You head into the storeroom to review the store's backstock. You are disappointed to discover that most of the core items, from new bestsellers to popular paperbacks, are missing. Without the mainstays, you'll have few sales and lots of disgruntled customers. Or shoppers, rather. A ledger hangs on a wall with a detailed account of every inventory purchase for the last 30 years. Fewer entries exist for this year. Looking around, you're not surprised. You run a finger down the outer edge of the book marked with color-coded tabs. One marked expenses draws your attention. You're no accountant. Well, we know an accountant. Adam's an accountant. Finger guns. But it's clear your grandfather owed a lot of money to a lot of people. Bender Bros Limited, $1,255. Empire's Used Cars, $282. ComEd, which is electric, $562. First Bank of Jericho, $2,941. God damn. God damn. Altogether, it's over $5,000. Not an insurmountable amount, though it's not great. Flipping through the ledger, you find these same 4 names reoccurring. June... They're not names, they're months. June, May, April, and farther back. In the back of names of the businesses, doy. In the back of the ledger, an envelope is pinned to the cover. Inside, you find invoices and bills for ComEd and Empire's Used Cars. You read them and fumble through the printouts, startled at the tallies at the end. In bold red letters, Empire's Used Cars, $1,692. ComEd, $4,496. That's when it hits you. The ledgers show costs per month, not total owed. If your grandfather's behind on payments for over 6 months each, he likely owed tens of thousands of dollars. What his debts carried to you? Fun fact, and those of you who live outside of the United States can tell me if this is the same. Here in Germany, if you a loved one or a relative dies and they leave you a will, if you want to accept their will, you also are agreeing to accept any debt that they have and agreeing to assume their debt. That's not the case in the States. Not everywhere in the States anyway, but I was definitely surprised about that when I moved to Germany. Hey, True Salubri. Yeah, I'm having so much fun playing this game, and I'm pretty sure it's still on sale, and I recommend everyone buy it. This is a lot of fun. This is really great. There's flirting. There's shadow monsters. It's fantastic. Is it the same in the UK? Take the cat and run. I know. I just kind of want to take the cat and Adam and Salem and go like, oh my God, you guys, let's go on a road trip. That's what we really should do. Same in Russia. Hex is like my favorite character, I'm not going to lie. Okay. You close the ledger and take a deep breath. This is a puzzle to solve later. Hey, where are you at? Ginny shouts from another room. A moment later, she appears in the doorway. There you are. I put Drano down the crapper on the second floor. I think Drano is spelled wrong. Don't use it for a few hours. I chased that fuzzball out of there. Make sure she don't drink from the bowl. You give Ginny a half-assed salute in response. Next, you... Ooh, so restock the shelves. I have like no stamina and athletics. I have 1 stamina and no athletics, and I don't think this will work very well. I'll lose another willpower for that. So... let's reorder supplies. Oh, we have $2,500. Oh, I wish I had known that before I clicked on it. If you're going to run a store, you need inventory. Your grandfather didn't leave you with much, but you have a bit of savings you can use to rebuild the store's stock and hopefully make enough profit to get this place back on track. You find the contact information of a supplier from your grandfather's ledger and ring it up. The company is based out of nearby Kane County, but they pass this way all the time. Thankfully, your grandfather has kept up with payments to the supplier, and they're willing to drop off a shipment tomorrow of new and used books. We only have $2,500, so we're going to spend $1,000 of that to get good selling product in stock, because that's really all we can do. You don't want to spend all of your savings on inventory, so you go with the lower cost items and products that are in daily demand. You place the order and receive a commitment for the items to be delivered by tomorrow afternoon. Ginny Barlow walks up to you, wiping her hands on a rag. I'm out of here. You don't owe me, but my debt to your Gramps is clear. Consider us square. Thanks for all your help. She grumbles and shrugs. Didn't get through everything, but I'm done on the first floor and the store. You weren't much help. I'll have to come back for the cellar and upstairs. Next time, I'll charge you. Try to get this place up and running, 'cause I don't give credit no more. Your Gramps took advantage of my good nature. Then again, he was a warthog's ass. With that, she leaves the office, and in less than a minute, you hear her pickup truck peel out of the driveway. You take a quick tour to view her handiwork. Ginny made some major improvements to the home, but left some areas only moderately repaired. She plugged plumbing leaks, sanded rough patches of drywall, replaced warped wood beams, and handled other maintenance issues. You helped where you could for the first part of the workload. While the repairs aren't perfect, your potential customers and the townspeople will notice the improvements. I'm excited to go to the dinner party. I mean, it's great we're fixing up Gramps' store, but I'm excited to go to the dinner party. Yeah, maybe Maya will be at the dinner party. Oh, look. Look at this cutie. The store door can't talk. The store door chimes once more, and you hurry to see who's coming in now. A teenage girl pushes the door wide and walks a beat-up dirt bike into the entryway. Hi there, we aren't quite open yet. If you want to come back on Sunday. I know the store is not open. I can read signs. She has light brown skin and dark hair fashioned into braids, which hang lower than her shoulders. Though it's warm outside, she's wearing long blue jeans and work boots with a t-shirt displaying a huge Gothic cross. She hauls a purple backpack covered in cats and rainbows off her shoulder and rests it on the floor. What are you doing here? She asks in a hurried tone. I own the store. My name's Huddy. What's yours? I'm going to say, I'm getting the store ready to open in a few days. What are you doing here? I'm here to talk to you, she says, stepping off the bike. She lays it down half on the large welcome mat. My name's Michaela Clark. I'm Huddy, but I'm really busy though, so is there something I can do for you? She makes a circle around the store from the front door to the counter to the first set of shelves and to the door again, scanning the empty shelves. You must know Mr. Campbell, who used to own the store. He was nice. He used to let me sit in here and do my homework or just hang out. When I was a kid, we'd watch old Western movies or these guys called the Three Stooges. Did you buy this place? I didn't actually exactly buy it. I inherited it. Sounds like she liked Grandpa. Yeah, I think they have the same type of personality. Inherited it? So wait, he was your grandfather? Wow, I guess I see it, she says, and her look turns to sadness. In that moment, it's like a different person is standing there, an adult woman with an even older soul. I miss him. He was one of my friends and the smartest person I ever knew. Yeah, I really miss him. He was the best. Hey, so what do you know about Bleak Rest House? That's a strange question. Everyone in town knows the history of the place. No, I mean now. What do you know about the people who live there now? Not much at all. I saw that it's been renovated, but other than that, I don't know anything about it. The lady who owns it, her name is Miss Amanda Chastain, and then there is Mr. Gabriel Jayfield. Her voice takes a sudden drop when she mentions Gabriel. I know from the description on Steam that Chastain is a vampire. I just don't know which kind. Okay, is there a reason you're telling me about them? Do you know them? Michaela picks up her bike and turns the front toward the front door. I have to go now. I'll be back again when the store's open. If you need help, I'm a hard worker and I know everything about this place, and I'm fine with minimum wage. Ever heard of child labor laws, you say, and hold the door open for her. You don't need to be sarcastic. I'm offering my help. She rolls the bike outside and stops just past the threshold. You haven't been here for long, so here's a piece of advice. Don't trust anyone in this town. Everyone has a motive. Can I trust you then? Michaela smiles. I'm the least of your worries, and your only real friend. Have a blessed night. Real friend. Her words bring up images of Adam and Salem. I'm not sure. Allie, if I don't know anything about the game. I know Chastain is the vampire. That's the extent of my knowledge. Michaela rides away, the bike wobbly as it starts, leaving you watching her from the ridge of the store. Suddenly you realize the scent of raw garlic wafting away as she rides. Well, you know what? If some of these vampires have mythical banes, which is a thing in V5, they might be afraid of garlic. At the corner, she picks up speed and merges into traffic, only a few cars away. A few light drops of rain begin to fall, and a thickness hangs in the air. Gray clouds move low across the sky, and it's so humid you struggle to breathe. Returning to the store, you lock the door and feel a sudden need to flip the deadbolt and pull the shades closed. The hairs on your arms stand, and you sit on the cool tile floor with your back to the wall, remaining there until you feel a sense of calmness. Chapter 3. Everyone loves a dinner party. I love a dinner party. Oh no, not The Strain. I can't watch. I don't know if The Strain was based off of a book or something, but the TV show The Strain is like my literal nightmare. I can't watch that show. It's Salubri Cat, aka Harry, aka Galen from Blood on the Grand Strand. Hello, my friend. Hello. I watched The Strain when it first aired on, I think it was on FX, the American station FX, and I watched it all the way through, and I powered through the whole show, and I said I'll never watch it again. I used to have nightmares watching it. It is my literal nightmare. If you want to know, like, my fear, one of my deepest fears is, like, that type of thing, like some sort of parasite that turns you into zombies. I hate it. I hate everything about it. Night is not an absence of light, but in fact it is daytime that is a brief respite from the looming darkness. Guillermo del Toro, The Strain. Marvin Bumpley lives at the epicenter of Jericho Heights with the largest house on the highest hill. Rumor has it rumor has it his great-grandfather took over the land from an orphanage that defaulted on a loan. Lovely. That first Bumpley kicked all the little children out, and there's frostbitten teddy bears. That first Bumpley, possibly named Gregory or even just John, converted the existing structure into his home. After the passage of 150 years, the home has been refurbished and renovated to the mansion today known as Bumpley Manor. In all your summers staying with your grandfather, you never made it past the far gate onto the Bumpley property. Whether you cared or not was another story. People treated an invitation to the manor like finding a golden ticket to the chocolate factory. Ugh. Yeah, that was a line from a Muppet Christmas Carol. It's just lovely, kicking orphans out into the snow. You make it to the main gate as night descends on Jericho Heights. There's a thick quality to the air, not due to weather or atmosphere. You feel a weight on your skin so tight you can't sweat. Is it nerves? Maybe. Why though? What's to worry about at a dinner party? I don't know. We've run into a shadow monster twice and we're still not talking about it. Our friend who was like, yeah, I was drunk in the woods and I had a gun on me and I felt this like overwhelming fear and like the woods around me became oppressive with darkness and I tried to run and I accidentally shot myself. And there's no correlation in our brain that goes, oh my God, that's so weird. The same thing happened to me earlier in the night. I'm so lost about this thing where we're not talking about this obviously supernatural thing that's happened to us twice. I just can't. Oh God, okay. Closing your eyes, you take a deep breath through your nose and exhale slowly through your mouth while thinking of a calming place. It's a simple form of meditation and one that always works. You imagine a verdant green meadow with a single willow tree, its branches shaking in a light wind. Before you know it, you're walking to the shade of the tree. Barefoot, you feel the grass beneath your soles. It's perfectly peaceful and you're feeling at ease. As you reach the old willow, you spot a figure in the distance. It stands straight and tall, unmoving. Its face is blurry and its body is dark and lacks details besides hands dripping red. In an instant, the span of a blinking eye, the figure moves closer by a few dozen feet. More red drips from its hands, and its face has only a long, thin mouth with two dagger-like teeth. A feeling stirs in you, a primal urge of fight or flight. Your skin prickles and your mouth goes dry. All of your tranquility flashes away in that second. Are you just going to stand there, or are you going in? You spin and spot a woman standing behind you. She's rummaging through a handbag perched precariously on her left knee, while she balances on her right leg. The feeling of dread leaves you like it was never there. You don't even remember the scene that caused your fear. She pulls out some earrings, hikes the bag on her shoulder, walks around you, and opens the gate. Well, come on! Let me guess, her name's Karen. You follow after her, still a bit disoriented. The path winds through a carpet of cut grass, outlined in colorful flowers no taller than the strangely uniform green blades. One side of the lawn has rose bushes, the other a variety of distinct trees and a gazebo. As you near the house, you reach a fountain with two cherubs squirting water from their mouths. My name's Lacey Pendleton, by the way. Seems fitting. She holds out her hand as she strides around the fountain. She's as tall as you and wearing a white blouse and a navy pencil skirt, though her tennis shoes contrast with the business look. Her light brown hair sits in a bun on top of her head. Huddy Campbell. You shake her hand. Lacey comes to a stop. Wait, you're Lucas Campbell's granddaughter. That's me. Holy hell, what do you know? She says and walks again. She loops one of the earrings through her earlobe. Lucas was a legend around here to many of us. He didn't take anyone's crap. It's so nice to meet you. Wait, sorry. You're here because... Oh, I wish we could have met under better circumstances. I'm sorry for your loss. Oh, geez, I'm chattering like one of my sixth graders. It's a dinner party and we're the dinner. Yes. My grandfather was a legend to you? Why's that? Is it because of all the weird stuff in the back of his shop? Lacey wrinkles her forehead. He was always outspoken and truthful, iconoclastic even. Say what you want about him, but Lucas stood up for the people in this town. The two of you come to the end of the driveway below a set of marble steps. The exterior is red brick with stone columns supporting a second-floor balcony. Lights shine from two gigantic windows, though royal blue curtains block you from seeing inside. The soft sound of classical music plays in the home. Lacey sits on the steps and takes a pair of black heels out of her oversized handbag. Pencils, lipstick, a tiny notepad, and a Nintendo Switch spill out onto the ground. I would be so mad if my Switch fell out onto a driveway. I'll help her pick up the items. Why not? Oh no, a teacher! Run! She's gonna scold us, put us in timeout, give us detention. You gather the pencils and notepad while she picks up the game and the lipstick. Thanks, I came right from school and didn't clean out my bag. I'm vice principal of Jericho Heights Middle School. So you're saying that's not your Switch? I didn't say that, she replies with a grin. She stuffs the items back in her bag and slips off her tennis shoes and socks. Enough about me. How did you gain the privilege of an invitation to a bumply soiree? I'm wondering the same thing. He came by my grandpa's store and asked a lot of questions. Either it's a genuine display of neighborliness or he has an ulterior motive. I see. Well, this is only the third time I've been here, and it was also for a dinner party. Sorry. We're dinner. It's us. It's people. The book is eating people. To serve man. She slips on the high heels. Her shapely calves flex. Ooh, we notice her calves and that they're shapely. And you stare until she looks up. It's an open bar and the food's always out of this world. At the least, you'll leave drunk and well fed if you want. And all of your blood will still be in your body. She reaches into her bag and takes out a compact and a tube of lipstick. An iPhone falls to the ground. What is wrong with her? Its case displays the gold and crimson colors of the school. She picks it up and puts it back in her handbag. I'm always losing this thing. A breeze blows rose petals across the lawn and onto the driveway. So a toreador then. Rose bushes, rose petals. From the direction of the entry gate comes footsteps on gravel and the sound of voices. Lacey applies the lipstick. Sounds like more people are arriving. She returns the lipstick and mirror to her bag. Should we head in? You nod and the two of you ascend the few steps to the double doors. The classical music and light laughter more prominent now. Dinner party. Ooh, shapely calves. My favorite. Yeah, I've dropped my phone a few times in my life, and out of the many different phones I've had, a handful of times at most. Yeah, I'm thinking Toreador. Always losing this thing. Can you say foreshadowing? Yeah, like we'll find it and not her. Oh, don't mind that people are going woo woo outside my window. I don't know why. Woohoo! We're celebrating something. So all the important people in this town are vampires? No, we're important, and we're not a vampire. And Hex isn't a vampire, as far as we know, unless she's a gangrel. Or she's the famulus of a gangrel, I don't know. No, if a gangrel does shape change, I don't think they could change into, like, a normal-sized animal. I think it's, like, naturally bigger, if I remember the description right. So, Hex might be a famulus, but Hex is also important. A man in a formal gray suit, who seems to be the butler, invites you into a 2-story square foyer and straight through a pair of French doors. You're led to a grand hall where classical music flows from tall speakers in the corners. The room is decorated in patterns of dark colors with gold and pink accents and Greek and Roman statues. Wood panels coat the ceilings. Sorry, I'm hiccuping. while the walls are covered in an embellished covering thicker than paper. This is what I call gaudy chic, Lacey says, leaning in with a whisper. Marvin is rich. Fine. This place looks like a mix of designers from London, Italy, Russia, and Japan all got into a fight over who can spend the most and still make it look like a hotel from the 40s. Have you ever wondered why rich people buy all this? Is it to impress other people, or do they actually stand around and admire it? Good question. I wouldn't know. From an archway comes Mayor Bumpley, wearing a beige suit and bow tie, his grayish-black hair slicked back like a 1920s film star. He's changed out white gloves for brown. He carries out a silver tray with long-stemmed glasses filled halfway with white wine. When he sees you, he smiles and strides towards you. Oh, lucky us! Oh my God. It's so lovely to see you, he calls out. As he steps closer, he hands off the tray to his butler. Thank you for coming, Huddy. He doesn't thank the other person? What's so special about us? Oh, God. Thank you for inviting me. You have a beautiful home is exactly what I would say in this situation. And try and bite down the urge to say eat the rich. More new people. I don't want to raise my relationship with Marvin Bumpley. Can I see like my relationship status? I can't remember if I can or not. Yeah, view relationships. Yeah. Look how high our friendship is with Deputy Maya. I love her. Our highest relationship, though, is with Salem. Second highest is with Deputy Maya, which I'm fine with that. Mayor Bumpley beams proudly. You are very kind, and you are welcome for the invitation. It is so great to have a new addition to our town. If I can convince more young people to move here, I would be the best mayor in the history of Jericho Heights. Just so you're aware, guests are asked to stay in the grand hall, the patio, the garden, and of course, the dining hall. So is the city paying for this party, or your donors, or hell, maybe it's just us taxpayers footing the bill? Lacey gives the mayor a mocking smile and slaps his upper arm. Mayor Bumpley smiles courteously. Lacey, it's so wonderful for you to show up. After that town council meeting, I'd imagine you'd avoid leaving home. He laughs, so Lacey does the same. It's been a while since I've been to your home, Lacey says, and then puts her hand to her mouth to pretend that she's telling a secret. Or as I call it, the house that predatory loans built. They both laugh again, and you chuckle awkwardly with them. This is very weird. This is very passag, I don't get it. Pardon me, I need to attend to my hors d'oeuvres, Mayor Bumpley says. Reginald, did you pull out the quail eggs with caviar? My God. Lacey scoffs as the mayor waltzes off to his kitchen. So how's about I give you a rundown on the notable guests here? She points out a tall woman by the kitchen. The model-esque lady in the $5,000 outfit is Martina Lobo. She's a doctor with her own boutique practice, a wellness clinic or something, where they serve wine spritzers after your hot yoga class. Not really, but you get the picture. Why are so many people rich in this town? They must all be vampires, right? Oh my God, I hope Maya will be at this party. We haven't seen the portrait of Bumpley yet, Jason. No, not yet. You look over at an olive-skinned man by the bar. I like his smile. I like his smile. How many people can I romance before it gets weird? His suit can't hide a lean, toned physique. His hair's curly and short on top, though a curl hangs down onto his face. His skin color is a deep olive that glows under the lights. And him? Who is he? Who? Lacey takes a glass of champagne off of a short pyramid display of glasses and drinks half of it. That's Marcus Williams. Comes from one of the richest families in DeKalb County, no matter how much he tries to pretend otherwise. He used to be a deputy sheriff, but got wrapped up in a scandal. Honestly, I don't like spreading rumors, so I'll leave it there. She swallows down the rest of her drink and picks up another glass off the pyramid. She keeps her eyes on Marcus, and you see the hint of a smile. Ooh. You walk with her along the length of the room until you arrive near the exit to a garden where you see the Sheriff Ray smoking a cigar. I remember him. We should know who he is. We apparently worked for him when we were 12, which is a weird time to work for someone. That Clint Eastwood lookalike is Sheriff Raymond Alastair, Lacey says, drinking half of the contents of her glass again. He had part of his lung removed 2 years ago, but he's still smoking like a Texas barbecue. Habits aside, he's a cornerstone of our community. When an angry parent painted an obscene graphic on my Civic, not only did Sheriff Ray find the guy, he made him pay for a paint job for my car and wear a shame sign during a PTA meeting. Hilarious. A shame sign? Lacey wears a self-satisfied smile. It read, "I draw penises on cars when I'm angry." She downs the rest of the champagne. "I see a parent that I need to talk to over by the hot plate. Catch up with you later, my new friend." She cuts away towards the buffet tables. It's still early in the cocktail hour, giving you time to explore or speak with a guest. The book is tempting us again. What's the game hiding by not showing us the mayor's portrait? I don't know. I want to know what's going on with her and Marcus. I kind of want to go talk to Marcus. I kind of want to go talk to the sheriff because we used to work for him. So I'm going to go talk to the sheriff first. So let's do that. I don't really care about the doctor. The night air holds a slight chill common in Jericho Heights at this time of year. But it strikes you with a sudden jolt when you step into the garden. The smell of rose and lavender mixes with the pungent aroma of Sheriff Ray's cigar. He stands outside wearing his uniform pants and leather boots, along with a tweed jacket and a white-collared shirt. As you approach, he puts out the cigar on the stone rim of a fountain. He's always been a bit of a grouch, and you doubt the passing years have changed that. Well, here's my favorite summer part-timer. How the hell are you? I'm going to say better than you. You're still working after all these years? This gets a hearty chuckle out of the sheriff. I'll be working until they carry me out or I hit the grave. Or you lose re-election. He nods to you. Fair enough. Not damn likely. People in the Heights like the status quo. In all this time speaking with the sheriff, he hasn't stopped gazing at Bleak Rest House, the hilltop home down the road from Bumpley Manor. He holds up the extinguished cigar, strikes the head of his lighter, and brings the flame to the tip. Once it's burning, he puffs at the end, causing smoke to billow. You know that place? He asks. Bleak Rest House, you say? Everyone in Jericho Heights knows that house. In the 70s, it was the site of one of the worst series of murders in the country since Henry Howard Holmes. Okay, so something people might not know about me because I don't discuss it is I love true crime. I listen to a lot of true crime stuff. And Henry Howard Holmes was one of America's first serial killers in Chicago. And he built a sort of House of Horrors type of thing where he killed... I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but this was back in like the early 1900s, and he killed many people. I believe he was tried and the whole thing. I don't know if he was sentenced to death, but he was caught eventually. And there have been like speculation that he was Jack the Ripper and things like that. Silas Bleakrest lured his victims to their deaths over the course of a 3-year killing spree, years before law enforcement coined the term serial killer. Yeah, years. Serial killer wasn't coined until I think like the late 60s, early 70s. Whoa, chat's going by too fast. H.H. Holmes' actual death count is unknown. I thought so. Silas Bleakrest is a great name. H.H. Holmes killed anywhere between 20 and 200. That's horrible. Was he hung? I don't remember. Last time I think I watched a documentary about it ages ago that was on Netflix. My grandfather told me it's haunted, but I never believed it. I'm not going to say that. Being part of the sheriff's office, you must know a lot about it. I'd rather hear what the sheriff knows. Ooh, conniving. That's me. Sheriff takes a hard drag on his cigar. As early as 1972, Silas Bleekrest, a musician by trade, started luring folks into his home on the top of the hill. It was said he played music to attract those passing by. He even tutored citizens of Jericho on piano and violin. In 73, the body of a young man was found in Stillview Reservoir, his ears cut off and his fingers missing. In 74 and 75, 2 more bodies were found each year, bodies mutilated beyond identification, all missing ears and fingers. Sheriff Ray takes a puff on his cigar and clears his throat. I was a deputy back then, not long out of the academy. While on duty one night, I took a cruiser out to the blind spot on the southern end of the reservoir by the Junction Road. I know where you mean, you say. He nods. We used to catch people speeding or drag racing or other foolishness back then. That one particular night I spotted a man on the road running towards me, flagging me down. He was wearing a blue gown and nothing else, was bleeding from his head. When he finally got to my car, he collapsed. That's when I found out he was wearing a hospital gown with nothing underneath, and his right ear had been cut off. That's unbelievable. It took me a while to get over the shock of what I saw that night. That man, Lawrence Chisholm, told me all about the horrors he endured at the hands of Silas Bleekrest, then passed out in my cruiser. Within hours, we had search and arrest warrants. We called in state troopers from Springfield and raided the house at the crack of dawn. Sheriff Ray's eyes take on a faraway glaze. 30 of us moved on that house. Silas was gone, but we found his workshop in the basement, along with irrefutable evidence of the crimes. Did you ever find him? He squeezes his eyes shut and pinches the bridge of his nose. Police picked him up in Milwaukee 2 days later. On transport, he attempted escaped, grabbed a policeman's firearm, and was gunned down. Whatever happened to the guy who escaped? Larry Chisholm? Poor guy spent a few days in the ICU, but succumbed to blood poisoning from his injuries. After he passed out, he never regained consciousness. Only muttered some phrases. Ever been to Bleekrest House? Once. I had quite an experience there. Oh, did we? He turns to you for a moment, his eyes growing wider. Oh? You swallow hard. I haven't told the story in years. It was my birthday. I was in Jericho visiting my grandfather, but happened to be hanging out with my 2 friends. You probably know them, Sarah Morelli and Adam Bain. Sheriff Ray shrugs. I know the families. Go on. We were all hanging out near Bleekrest Hill, right outside the cemetery gates, when Salem, we call her that now, but her name's Sarah, well, she dared Adam and me to run through the graveyard. After we did that, we kept one-upping each other until finally she dared us to go into Bleekrest House. Not even just inside, she just wanted us to go to the basement where he, did, his workshop. You swallow hard again. Yeah, that's what people called it. The house was locked and boarded. And I told them I'd only go in if we all did, is what I would say. As a kid, probably what I would say. Speaking of deputies, where's yours? Oh, man. All of you guys are talking about true crime in my comment, in my live chat. Super happy. Makes me super happy. If I wasn't making World of Darkness videos, I'd probably make true crime videos. You continue. They both agreed. We searched the outside of the house, each going on our own to find a way inside of it. I went to the right, past a weed garden, and around to a boarded storm cellar. Something told me to check it, and the nails were too weak to hold the door shut. Not sure if the cellar had a way into the main house. I climbed down the steps. Hiccup. I wasn't much for breaking and entering, so I forgot to keep the door open. Once it fell shut, I was in total darkness. Sheriff Ray lifts his foot, stamps the ground, and twists his leg with the tip of his boot. When he moves his foot, you spot the squished carapace of a bug. Go on. I reached up to the door to the outside, but it was locked shut. Calling out for my friends did nothing. They couldn't hear me. But I heard something, a noise like soft breathing coming from behind me. but it was so dark I couldn't see anyone, nothing. A darkness that wrapped me up and made me feel cold and made my skin feel tight. I stumbled through the room and smelled wet earth and something else, old, stale, pungent. Someone was in the room, and I could sense their presence. Your hands feel clammy and you're breathing fast, so fast it's hard to catch it. Your vision blurs and blackness creeps in from the corners. You reach out to brace yourself and feel Sheriff Ray's hands holding you. I've lost another point of willpower. Oh, no. Oof, my willpower is bad. I only have 2 willpower. As a human, that's not very good. Sheriff Ray places his hands on your shoulder. It's just you and me here at Marv's. Dinner's almost ready. Know what we're having? I don't know. Your vision clears. Your breathing slows. Chef's making pheasant. Had the birds shipped in from Wisconsin. Marv made rhubarb pie. Ever had rhubarb in pie form? You take a deep breath and squeeze your eyes shut for just a moment. Thank you, Sheriff. I feel better. He takes his hand away. You should go talk to Dr. Lobo and tell her you had a panic attack. How about you tell me the end of your story some other time? Yep, good idea. I'll talk to you later. You turn toward the house and head inside, catching Sheriff Ray's waving hand and his reflection in the window. A woman strides into the hall with a gray power suit, and the other guests all turn and greet her. Like the Queen of England, she smiles and waves at her court. I didn't know Kendra Clark was coming, one guest says. She reported on Monroe... Oh, I can't say that. She reported on Monroe Duncan's appearance. Get tongue-tied. I can't believe she's still missing after all this time. I'm just glad this is an adults-only party, says another guest. Her daughter is such a weird child. Michaela may be eccentric for her age, but she's not that bad. Okay, so this is Michaela's mom, Kendra. This is the first you're hearing about a missing person in Jericho Heights. Missing is Monroe Duncan. The grandfather clock shows you're halfway through the cocktail hour, leaving you time to speak with other guests or look around the manor. Lacey has appeared on a balcony overlooking the Grand Hall. I don't want to talk to Lacey anymore. Naturally, I would talk to Marcus, but now I want to talk to Kendra because she's Michaela's mom. But I think I'm actually going to stop here because my throat is going. I've been doing this for over 90 minutes, and that's about all I can do. And my throat is just, it's leaving me. So I'm really excited for this party. We're just in the beginning of the party. Salem hasn't arrived. Adam hasn't come. We don't know if Deputy Maya is going to come. I miss her so much. She was such a great character. I miss her already. There's a lot of names being thrown at us, a lot of characters being thrown at us, and I don't know, I don't exactly know how they all fit together yet. But I can't wait to really get into like some meat stuff of like us actually hunting vampires, because that's the point of the game. So I'm super pumped. I'm super excited. I'll be streaming this again tomorrow at the same time, around 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m. Central Eastern Time. And probably on Sunday, I'll probably be streaming it much, much earlier in the day because I have time earlier in the morning on Sunday. But you guys have been great. I love this. I love... Suddenly we're in a Buffy AU where Kendra the Vampire Slayer lived and had a kid. Yep. That's headcanon. That's headcanon. But you guys have been so great. Thank you so much for being in the stream. I hope I get to see a lot of you tomorrow. And yeah, let's get excited for this party where we're totally not dinner. Apparently it's going to be rhubarb pie and some other yummy stuff, but it's not going to be us. That's for sure. We all know that's the truth. Thank you guys. I can't wait to come back tomorrow.